because I need it right now. So I've been working like a mad woman, like nobody's business, and I've been really good with that. The magic of just releasing shit right about now is where I've been at, and it's been really working for me. And as I've been in that space of release and in closing a chapter in my life, I've also noticed that I've been around a lot of really cool people. There's a lot of cool places around there. And so it kind of overrides all of the negativity that may be around me. Because at first I was just really in a space of, man, fuck this place. I'm through with this. I ain't got time for this shit. And all of the other bullshit, like it just didn't matter, you know, the mistrust. I've been overseeing departments for such a long time, and you know, the thought that I would be trying to steal something now all of a sudden is just outrageous to me. Like, why in the hell? Um, the control factor. You can't do this. You better make sure you asking for permission and all of this other stuff. And the toil, the expectation of just constant toil and surveillance and all of that stuff. I think that for me, and in the space that I'm in right now, I think that the whole corporate environment is just something that just no longer serves me. And so with that, I humbly and gratefully and thankfully released that shit. I cannot believe that this was some shit that used to really charge me and drive me up. It's just amazing to me that not too long ago I was in a completely different space where all of the shit that I'm gonna say doesn't really move me anymore, it's nothing now. It's really nothing now. And so with that, I'm so grateful and ashe to that experience, and I'm good with that. And so that's just, you know, the space that I'm in. I think the other thing that helped me to move past that energy, that it is of course Leo season. And if you didn't know, woo woo, I was definitely celebrating my birthday. Um, Definitely kicking in Leo season. It's a time when I shine, when the magic is super on point and powerful. And it's just really unfortunate that it seems like I've been talking to just a lot of people, and these aren't people that's not really even conscious, just mundane and going through the motions of everyday life. And I've noticed that energetically there's just been a lot of obstacles and a lot of challenges during this time, and I am certainly no exception to this whole particular situation. And then for me, I'm one of those cats, you know, that for me, alcohol and smoking and drinking, that whole type of cipher and everything, that's something that's always been somewhat of a struggle for me. And it's one of the things that's in the bloodline. When the family gets together, that's definitely what we do and how we get down and everything. And also during times of transition, times of stress, any of those other periods, those are definitely times when I really got to be mindful and watchful of overindulgence. Now, I can be thankful. I'm not going to pat myself on the back or grant myself an award just yet. But thus far and as of now, I have not been the type of individual that gets a few drinks in me and wants to change, or smoke a couple of joints and decide maybe I need to see what's happening in grandma's purse and, you know, shit like that. I've never been compelled to step out of any lines like that. However, the struggle is still real for me. So I definitely need people to just lift a sister up, because even though I may be able to get up, go to work, function, do all of the everyday mundane things that's in this world, it is one of those things that definitely holds me back from being creative, from being productive, and it's difficult for me to find that grounding once I get into a space. And the whole situation with my life just making this major transition and change, even though in my spirit, in my soul, in everything that that I know that this was a change that was for the best. I feel good about it. I'm on my way. I'm feeling encouraged. There's also a part of me that's a little nervous and a little, and so with that, I'm like, oh, need a drink, need a drink. Somebody bring me the margarita mix. And so here I go with that. Or somebody grab up one of them edibles. And can you believe you can buy these edibles like right online if you get that Delta 8? So how about that? Like, times they are a changing. At first I thought it was some bullshit. I thought it was a joke. And ordered it on up and everything, and shit, didn't you know it was in my mailbox in a few days? So holy crap, man, what a time it is right about now. What a time it is. So but that's all I got to say on that particular note. I really wanted to talk about this facial that I worked on a couple of months ago, and I put it off to the side, and then I'm going up clearing out stuff and everything, and I found it again. And because it sat there for like a month or two, and I'm sure it was probably fine to use, it's just me and my mental and how that works and shit, you know. I dumped that out and I made another one. And the only thing it was a tablespoon of baking soda and a tablespoon of sandalwood powder. And then I also took like a teaspoon of water and I added it to that mixture and made like a paste and used it as like a facial scrub, and used that as a facial, went about in this circular motion. And when I rinsed that off, I'm talking about a special type of glow and softness. There is something special about that baking soda. There's something special about that sandalwood powder. And the two of those together, I'm here to tell you, I just sit around and I'm telling you, I just want to see what will happen if. So there's no science or anything that's put on this. I'll use it and I'll try it on myself as the guinea pig. And when I get really good results, I'll come and tell you all about it. And when I get not so good results, I'll tell you all about that unfortunate time as well. But this time right here, this is a time that we can definitely celebrate because this turned out really excellent. It gave me a wonderful facial, but by then I had moved on to some other shit because I'm just always thinking of ways to try to make some adjustments, make some enhancement, lighten it up, illuminate it, and do all of the things that I can with it. And so with that, that was definitely something that worked out really well for me. I would advise you to try baking soda and sandalwood powder as a face scrub. What an awesome thing. Set an intention on how you want it to bless your skin and get busy with it. Absolutely. And that, oh my goodness, it was all of that for me. So definitely get you some of that. I wanted to talk about Hollywood and what's that all about in these Hollywood rituals. Now, when we talk Hollywood rituals, the first thing that shifts to a lot of folks' mind is that whole conspiracy theory cipher that talked about like how folks in Hollywood is conjuring up some rituals for mind control over you, and they probably all are true. However, at this particular point, what I'm talking about is the Palo Santo wood in that particular Hollywood. Now, this Palo Santo is something special that's in my heart. I just really started working with Palo Santo a few years ago, and it's just really been some special shit in my life particularly, right? So let me talk about Palo Santo. Let me see what the notes I put down on here. So Palo Santo on for healthcare reasons. I was about to say on the holistic tip, right? But for healthcare reasons, you can use it for pain and inflammation and all of that other stuff. And for the purposes that I use it, and the other thing that you can use it for is stress. And that's one of the things that I use that Palo Santo, especially in my baths for, is just for when I'm feeling like I'm under a tremendous amount of stress. That's another tool that I have in my bag that definitely helps to raise my vibration like nobody's business. I got some other stuff, but this Palo Santo is a sure shot, especially when you're feeling that heavy, held down type of energy that's about you, where you just feeling like fuck the world, everything sucks, this and that and the other. This Palo Santo is another good one that's definitely going to help you out with that. The other thing that I learned that you can use Palo Santo for is a bug repellent. Now, I never even tried to use it as that, and I don't even know for sure if I want to try it, go out in the woods and see if I get ate up, because I've just really, you know, and I call myself a brave soul, but I'm really not in the business of trying to play a game to see if bugs attract me or whatever. But maybe I'll sit on the back porch. We'll see what happens if this Palo Santo is really good as a bug repellent, because it said it has that limonene, which is in like oregano and rosemary and plants like that that help in repelling bugs, that citronella type of thing, you know. So that's one of the things that's really good in working with that for. But as far as a evening ritual, or just a all over feel good ritual, because Palo Santo on the magical tip, it is powerful to work with in baths. It gets rid of negative energy. Now they say, like, what is the thing with Palo Santo and sage, right? Now sage is supposed to be one of those things that clears away all of the negative energy, and the Palo Santo is supposed to like help to like raise the vibration to bring that positive energy up in there. But in my experience, I noticed that the Palo Santo has definitely helped to clear out of the negative energy and just bring that peaceful vibration in. And it also, for me as well, it helps to enhance my creativity. More often than not, when I do Palo Santo rituals, I really need to start making sure that I keep an ink pen and a notebook close by, because once I start working with that Palo Santo, my mind starts clicking like nobody's business. So definitely make sure that you got something to write with close on hand after you start working with that Palo Santo, because for me and in my experience, it has definitely helped me to really get some wheels spinning up in here. So here's some things that I do with the Palo Santo. You know, I can't let us ride without giving y'all how I walks with it. So what I'll do is I'll take a cup of Epsom salt, also a cup of sea salt, and a cup of baking soda. I'll get those and I'll mix them with my hands all together, and I'll throw in about 13 drops of Palo Santo oil. If there's some other oils that you want to use that work really well with it, like bergamot, that's one that I really like in working with that mental clarity tip. You might want to mess around with that rosemary. Might make it smell just a little different, but you will get that mental clarity. I tried it. What I did was I balanced the Palo Santo and the rosemary so that the rosemary doesn't overpower the Palo Santo, which made the scent a lot more pleasant. But you'll have to play with it and make the adjustments on your own and how you see it fit. Palo Santo goes really well with a lot of other essential oils, maybe your florals. Try the lavender, especially when you are getting ready for bed at night. A really good nighttime ritual is to mix that lavender with the Palo Santo oil. You can put it in a diffuser at night as well. The other thing that I like to do after I come out of that bath with the Palo Santo oil, and I got all soaked up and everything, got my oils on and everything, and I'm all ready to go, is I will light the Palo Santo stick. And when you light that Palo Santo stick, you can actually feel the energy kind of lighten up once you start to use that. At least this is what my experience has been. When I'm in an environment that, like, maybe somebody's been arguing or something like that, or it's just like a real stale energy, or one of those times where I got the windows and everything all closed up and no one's been in there for quite some time and everything, and that whole stale and stagnant energy and everything, without even opening the window and lighting up that Palo Santo, it kind of changes the vibe in the room. So definitely check that Palo Santo out. So now that we are aware of how Palo Santo can bless your situation, you can start coming up with your own Hollywood rituals that's going to help you to be right and exact with all of that. Some really, really good rituals for in the morning too that I like to do is some meditation rituals, of course. Now, for me, I'm one of those cats, I got to get up first thing in the morning and get my meditation in, because when I get home from work, I really ain't too much about the business of doing any meditational work unless I know I absolutely have to, or if I got to come in front of everybody and start speaking and everything, then I need that time to kind of find my center and be able to get some clarity in mind. Other than that, not so much, because usually, typically, I'm kicking it with the family, or I'm involved in some other stuff. I know that I'll need to make some adjustments, but to know who I am is going to help me figure out a definite game plan that's going to help me in being more successful. And so with that, I'll do that in the morning. That Palo Santo is a winner in the morning. You take the stick, you light it up, and you just really let that smoke of the Palo Santo just permeate throughout the room. Inhale that and you know what I'm saying, and really get that activating throughout your system. And I'm here to tell you, it's a really positive way to get you some mental clarity, to quicken your thoughts and get on and about your day. It is definitely a thing to do. So let me wrap it up with some guidance to go. I pulled a card from my Book of Doors Divination deck, and the card that I got for this week is one of the gods that we really should be working with right now, especially in this particular time. This is one that spoke to me. Hopefully it will definitely speak to you. This is the god Asar, who brings with you the message. He brings mystical revelations. He brings the message of letting go of attachments that are no longer serving you, reminding you that it is necessary, sometimes even detrimental, to let go of things that don't serve you. Now, we talking about those thoughts that don't serve you. It may not necessarily be you need to put the Hennessy down and be done with that, or put the reefer down, or whatever else it is that you might be on. If it's not serving you, then perhaps it is something that you need to consider. For me, it's not serving me, but it is. So I'm kind of on the fence. Y'all pray for me, huh? But in this particular case, it's really urging us to let go of those things that don't serve you, making some adjustments to the diet. Don't I know, y'all? Don't I know? And making some adjustments. I know the right things to do. I have absolutely reversed my conditions by practicing, by being disciplined enough to make those changes in my life. And then when stressful times come about, I revert right back into a whole bunch of old habits. So the power of changing the diet, it changes the way you think, it changes the way you operate, it changes the way you move. We know this for a fact, but this is really a time that's urging us to get all of that in check. So you definitely want to work with the god of Sar. His number that he brings is the number 8, which is that infinity number, which deals with power, authority, and it's also your money number. So what he's really coming in here to let you know is, don't let these attachments in these streets right about now, these folks, these things, whatever it is that's going on, whatever that you got yourself attached to, don't let that be your stumbling block and hold in you back. So definitely work with the god Asar. Let go of all of those things that are not serving you. And definitely, last but not least, get you some of that Palo Santo. If you don't have that, burn the stick. Drop some of that oil in your bag, in your bath water, It will definitely elevate your whole experience. I assure you. The other thing, baking soda, rock with it. Keep it on deck. Keep it in your cabinet. It's good for your facials. It's good for your bath. It's good for your life. Baking soda, family. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But for this particular week and for this particular purpose, it's that baking soda and that sandalwood, a tablespoon of each, and a teaspoon of water. Make you a little paste and get you a nice exfoliating scrub that's going to really brighten your